Hello and welcome to the next video of the America's 2025 series. We're going to preview FlyQuest here, the number one ranked team going into the season in LTA in general, but also in LTA North. Technically, it's FlyQuest and then C9 across the entire board, and then we have our top LTA South team, which, hey, I mean, that kind of makes sense in a way, given that the third LCS team last season didn't get out of play-ins and Brazil did, so it kind of works in a way. Nevertheless, FlyQuest are running back the same five players they had last summer. Probably a good idea. Last 3 years, they went 5th, 7th, 3rd, 9th, and then last season finished 2nd and 1st. So, 3 of the last 4 splits, they finished top 3, which is pretty damn good, given the inconsistencies we've seen from some teams at the top of the LCS and now LTA North over the last several seasons. Okay, so in top lane we have Bwipo. Bwipo ranks first out of LTA North top laners based on this stat line here. Had a 2.5 KDA, 58 KP, 7.9 CS per minute. So higher KP than your average top laner, gave up a little bit of farm to do so and to be involved. Nearly 3 out of every 5 kills. Comes out positively in the share differential, 0.1. 1.33 ROI, deals a good amount of damage relative to the gold he gets outright. Up 155 gold at 15 minutes, a 2.68 vision efficiency, which is vision score divided by wards placed. 23 champions in 88 games. He's 26 years old, which is the oldest on this team. Renekton, K'Sante, and Olaf were his 3 most played and accounted for just under half of his champion usage this past season. In the jungle, we have Inspired. I said it in the C9 video, when Blabber was ranked 1 based on his stat line. I could argue that Inspired is better than Blabber, but based on the stats, it was the other way around. So just keep that in mind. I think it could go either way. Inspired had a 4.9 KDA, 75 KP, and a 6.6 CS per minute. And the same thing I said with Blabber, because he had like a 77 or 78 KP or even higher than that and a higher CS per minute. Essentially the same deal though. 3 out of every 4 kills means that this guy is getting around the rift and he's involved in FlyQuest kills. It's just common sense when you look at a 75% KP. But then he also has 6.6 CS, which means he's getting a good amount of farm. The team is fighting when he is ready and giving him resources, more so than many other junglers. Negative 3.7 share differential, 1.08 ROI, 70 gold ahead of 15 minutes, a 4.22 vision efficiency, played 23 champions in 88 games. 22 years old. Ivern, Maokai, and Vi account for 26% of his champion usage last season. So he had the most diverse champion pool. Even though he had the same amount of champions as Bwipo, his champion usage indicates to me that he did not rely on certain champions as much as Bwipo did. That he used a more diverse champion pool, I guess more regularly, if you will. Mid lane is Quad. So Quad's summer stat line ranks first amongst all LTA North mids. So we see the stat line here. It's got 90 games. 35 of those are in spring when he was in NACL. But when I look at the summer stat line, he ranked first. So a 5.5 KDA, 69.3 KP, 8.8 CS per minute over the entirety of the season. Had a 7.6% share differential. He carried in the damage department. You gave me 22% of gold, I'm giving you nearly 30% of damage. And that's a very good trade-off, to say the very least. 1.79 ROI, 280 gold ahead, 2.6 vision efficiency, 19 champions in 90 games, is 22 years old. Corki, Azir, Orianna, 39% of his champion usage. Very classic control mage. And, Corki standard pick in mid. Now, they're already ranked first. So, when I say Masu's ranked 5th, a lot of people really didn't like that I had Masu ranked below Noah, but going into Worlds. But Masu's spring and his MSI was not the greatest thing in the world. It took him, and he developed over the season into, at Worlds, one of the best players there. in his role, and we'll see if he can follow that up this season in his sophomore year, where the meta will shift and things will change, and if he can keep up with that. But based on the entirety of last season's stat line, which includes a lot of Worlds games and MSI and EWC, which are going to hurt his stats a bit, and see, I'm acknowledging all this before I say he's fifth based on this stat line relative to others in the region, including Eon, who also played in those big moments as well. 5.3 KDA, 67.2 KP, 8.4 CS per minute. A lot of Senna games and a lot of low resource games for him last season. 3.6 share differential and a 1.54 ROI. So, yeah, I mean, he was a secondary carry on this team behind Quad. It was clear as day. He was not the carry. Now, he played great team fights at Worlds at moments, and that's true, but Quad during the majority of summer was the one doing a lot of the heavy lifting. Down 100 gold at 15 minutes, 2.59 ROI, 18 champions, 88 games, 20 years old. Varus, Callista, and Ashe account for just under half of his games played. Support is Bucio, definitely one of the most interesting players to me on this team. I think Bucio, I always say Bucio is going to be one of the best. If not, he will be the best Western support at one point in his career. His champion usage is insane. His creativity is on another level. And I'm really happy that he's getting an opportunity on a team this good. Had a 3.6 KDA below 70 KP. So we look at this team, look at the kill participations. Inspired, like I said, is the one making things happen on this team. Some supports go over 70 to 75% kill participation. You say, okay, well, the jungler and support are going around and making things happen. Or maybe the mid laner and the jungler and the support. But in this team, it was the jungler and everyone else is kind of doing their thing. So Buzio's connected to Masu. Negative 5.1 share differential. 0.84 ROI, indicating a more aggressive support, which makes sense given his champion pool. Went even at 15 minutes in gold, so just doing rough math here. Well, we got 11.2, 11.3, 8.8. Like this team, heavy carry oriented. More damage than gold share. And in part, that's due to the whole Jensen thing. And gold difference, 255, 535, 435 ahead of 15 minutes. And they were all in Tier 1 and international events. So you can expect that 435 gold on average to continue. 20 champions in 88 games and 1.86 ROI. Second in his role, 21 years old. Leona, Nautilus, Renata, just under half of his champion pool. Yeah, so that's a thing. Nuke Duck is the coach. Nuke Duck did a pretty damn good job with this team last year after his first year with the 100 Thieves. I also think that Mithy joining the fray was a good thing. After Cloud9 let him go between spring and summer, a lot of people blaming Mithy for Cloud9's struggles and that Mithy was a bad coach and this and that. And I'm like, hey, look at his results. He always goes to Worlds. He ends up there. So, how about that? FlyQuest get to Worlds. Not to say that they weren't going to already without Mithy, but Mithy obviously is good enough to be a part of a World staff. That is a thing. But Nuke Duck in his own right did very well in spring. Second place by himself. So, not by himself, but as the leader of the coaching staff. Of course, there's analysts and things like that underneath him. 32-25 in the regular season as a coach, 56% win rate. 24-20 in the playoffs for a 55% win rate. And internationally, 9-12 with a 43% win rate. I did not include EWC in there. I try and avoid using EWC. I use it for these stat lines because it's easier to just say, hey, this includes like 6 games from EWC out of 90. But with win rates, it's easy to just avoid it. I just don't add it in. So this team, first, right now, not only LTA North, but in LTA outright. I expect them to win Americas going into this season. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, like it. Subscribe to the channel for daily League of Legends content. Follow me on Twitter, join the Discord, become a YouTube supporter, and hope to see you again tomorrow.